Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. In this video, I will share you my story on how I survived my first year in Barcelona. And if you haven't watched my video about how I ended up living and working in Spain, please do watch it. I will put the link somewhere in this video. So okay, the first time I arrived in Barcelona on January 2015, the moment I stepped out of the airport, I almost got frozen. Nilamig po talaga ako ng sobra-sobra. So if you're arriving on winter season, please do bring a jacket because it's really cold. And especially if you're coming from the Philippines like me, magdala po tayo ng jacket na makapal para hindi po tayo lamigin. Even before coming to Barcelona, I already found a room on a website called Piso Compartido, and the owner was a Catalan guy. I said Catalan because when I referred to him as Spanish, he immediately corrected me and I was told to refer to him as Catalan, which of course was totally fine. But you know what? Honestly speaking, I had no idea about Catalan. So I highly suggest if you're coming to Barcelona, even just to visit, try to do some research about it. Because some locals might get offended or triggered if you refer to them as Spanish. This Catalan guy named Sergi was so nice to me. He even picked me up at the station and he just started giving me information about Barcelona, like how to use the transportation, and where to find cheap and good restaurants, and which places should I visit. And most importantly, to always be on guard with my belongings. Unfortunately, there's a lot of thieves and pickpockets in Barcelona. Actually, when I arrived in Sant Station, there were a couple of strangers who tried to talk to me. But I just ignored them because Sergi already warned me not to talk to these people. Later, I found out that this station is one of the hotspots for these pickpockets. So if you're in this station, try to be more vigilant. Because under the Spanish law, if you steal something worth less than 400 euros, it is just considered a misdemeanor. It's not a crime, it is just a misdemeanor. And obviously, that is the reason why there's a lot of thieves and pickpockets in Barcelona, because that law kinda protects them. So that's why I think it's pretty but that is just my opinion. So moving on with my story, when I was doing my internship in the hotel, I was receiving 300 euros per month as an allowance. And this was just enough to pay for my rent, which was 270 euros monthly. So the 30 euros left, I really tried my best to budget it as much as I can. So almost every day I was eating pasta and canned tuna, which was totally fine because I love pasta. And also, since I was working in the kitchen, I had always access to free food and leftovers. So before I finished my shift, I tried to eat as much as I can. Like, yung parang kain construction worker talaga. And then yung sa transportation, believe it or not, I never used the bus or the metro in the beginning. Like for the first 7 or 8 months, I just walk around everywhere I went. Because I just believe that transportation here is kind of expensive. Like one single ticket will cost you 2 euros and 40 cents. And for me, that's already 1 kilo of basmati rice. I love basmati rice. Also, I never went out to eat in a restaurant or in a bar. Apart from that day when I think it was the second day when I came to Barcelona, because I told myself like, no matter what happens, you have to try the paella. But the paella I've tried was in a restaurant located in Paralel, and it was not really that good. So mas masarap pa rin yung lugaw sa atin. And then I discovered an app called Meetup. It's a very useful app where you can find different kinds of events. Of course, I always went to the free ones. And I think my first meetup was in a karaoke event. Of course, we Filipinos love karaoke. And thanks to this app, I learned how to play beach volleyball. And I met a lot of great people who are now my friends, and not just my friends, but like a family here in Barcelona. I got so addicted to this sport because I just love being on the beach. And you meet friends just like this. And for me, it's a very good outlet to release my stress from work. Like for example, if I'm really having a bad day, I just go to the beach and suddenly the feeling of frustrations and anger just disappears. And this is the reason why I fell in love with Barcelona. And then the time arrived where I had to find an extra job to support my living. I had a Filipina flatmate who has been living in Spain for more than a decade, and she was one of those people who helped me a lot when I was struggling during the first couple of months. She was actually giving me some of her house cleaning jobs, and she was also sharing some of her food when she cooked lunch or dinner. Unfortunately, I lost contact with her, and Atenal, if you're watching this, nagpapasalamat po ako sa inyo ng marami sa pagtulong niyo sa akin nung dumating ako dito sa Barcelona. I hope you are doing okay, and I hope to see you somewhere again. So from Miramar Hotel, I transferred to Mercer Hotel in Gothic Quarter, and I was still receiving 300 euros monthly. I was assigned to learn the service in the morning, and I was training under an Italian guy named Donato. I learned everything quickly, like in less than a month. So everyone was happy, including the director and the owner of the hotel. They were very pleased of my work. I was supposed to change my shift from breakfast to lunch or dinner service, but the unexpected happened. The head chef who actually hired me resigned, and the rest of the team just resigned as well. That time, it was just me and Donato who were left working the kitchen. I was super disappointed when this happened. But you know what they say, everything happens for a reason. So I used that situation to my advantage. I knew how important my position was and how much they needed me. So I gambled. I told them that I'm going to leave as well because the 300 euros allowance that I was receiving from them was not enough to support my living expenses. And that there was a small restaurant who were willing to pay me more. To my surprise, the director of the hotel offered me to stay, but this time they were willing to pay me 700 euros more. Imagine how happy I was when he told me that. From 300 euros a month, they raised my allowance to 1000 euros per month. I just strongly believe that if you're a hardworking person, people around you will notice that, especially your boss. So to my fellow Filipinos, talagang pag nagtiyaga ka, hindi lang nilaga yung meron ka, makakabili ka na rin yung ticket for transpo like me. So yeah, hard work really pays off. And always remember your worth, because knowing your worth will always help you when it comes to decision making, because you trust yourself and the decisions you make. And also be patient and wait for the right time, because that's exactly what I've learned from this experience. Everything will fall into place at the right time. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click the subscribe button. See ya! Because you trust yourself and the decisions you because you trust yourself and the decisions you make because you trust yourself and the decisions you